How's it going, everybody? I'm back in Fallout 4, again at Abernathy Farms. This time, I'm going to be building a barracks type of building for the Minutemen. Uh, it's actually going to be like Preston's place in this settlement because I knew I wanted to have him, but I didn't really know how to really theme it other than Minutemen because, I mean, that's like all Preston has going for him other than asking me to go take care of every other settlement. So I figured I'll get him here and I'll have Minutemen here, and that's who I'll actually have for like my guard posts and stuff, so that my followers don't have to worry about any of that. And then the Minutemen can also do some of like the farming because I need more food for my settlement because I'm running out. So my idea for this build was based off of a lot of the builds in the game. So if you're walking around the Commonwealth, around the wasteland, you'll notice that there are a lot of structures that are kind of like tiered. So I really liked that idea, and I kind of wanted to do the same thing. So I just made a platform, lowered one half of it, and then filled in the little gap in the floor with a half wall, and then I'll just have stairs on the side of this that are gonna let people get up and down. And I tried to snap some of the like half stairs, the ones that are kind of smaller and take up a little less room, but it didn't work, so I just went ahead and opted with this kind of stairs. And on this side, I actually decided to use the like half, uh, those wall cutouts or whatever, those half wall cutouts. And I did that to extend the building a little bit so I'd have a little bit more room inside the house. And on this side, I couldn't get those stairs, or I couldn't get that wall to clip in with the stairs there, so I had to pillar glitch those in again through the wall. And it ended up working. And then on this end, I used the shack wall outer caps to kind of make this end look a little bit different than the other side. And I decided, because it's kind of a tiered building, like I said, it's kind of hard to get these roofs to match up. But since I went flat on that side, and then I had the biggest shack roof, the tallest one, on that end, it actually lined up pretty well, as you can see. It lines up pretty well. And uh, I thought that that actually fit really well, and I tried with the lower one, but it did not work. So the next thing that I was going to do was actually make a bit of supports on this bottom half. And so you'll notice that I didn't have any supports in the middle there, and it's because I actually decided that I was going to do something interesting with like the supports of this house, and I was going to use a car to actually hold the building up because I really like using the junk cars, using other things like other than like what they would have. So like Bethesda does all sorts of crazy stuff like that. Like they've got buildings in the game that I'm sure are supported by like a car. And so I was trying to figure out which car I wanted to use or how I was going to do it. And you'll see that that scaffolding frame just doesn't work. And so I just went ahead and used the concrete wall, the pillar glitch, because it does work. And I've used it all sorts of times, and I know that it's going to work. But I actually went with the other car that I got out because I thought at first that I'd probably be able to kind of block it off, make it look like it's not like floating by just blocking off the side. That's why I kind of turned it to the side. But then I decided that I was going to rug glitch the car in. I couldn't get this on that small rug other than at a really weird angle, I think, that I wouldn't be able to pillar glitch. But I went ahead and used a big rug and just placed that bigger rug on top of a small rug so that I'd have a little bit of extra space on that end. And so then I was gonna place it there, but then I decided that I wouldn't be able to tell how tall to make it. And so I moved the pillar in a little bit so that I could grab that closer into the settlement rather than just getting right outside and it would turn red. But I actually went inside the house to be able to get the right height. And as long as I didn't see it inside the house, I figured that that was good enough. Even if you could see it, was a little too tall on the outside. It doesn't really matter as long as inside. And I opted against having that shack bridge just because if there was going to be that on that end, I didn't want to use that shack bridge, but I still wanted it to be supported because that car kind of dips down into the ground right there. So I went ahead and got some ball track supports, and I used actually the wood supports from USO, and I just put those on a rug, which that took forever. Like you'll be shocked how long it actually takes to get these on a rug. Uh, I messed with this for a while trying to get this on without using a rug or anything, and I also didn't want to use Place Anywhere. You'll notice that I use Place Anywhere very rarely anymore. It's because it still crashes my game. I tried all the help that people gave me. People gave me some advice on how to maybe fix that, and honestly, nothing really worked. So I had to mess with this for a long time before I could finally get it at the right angle to even get it on a rug. And I just wanted to show you guys like a quick clip of me like messing with this, and it took me like forever. I had been like trying to get it not only on the rug, but just like in that position on the actual support, and then I lost it in the ground and I had to redo that. So I pull it out of the ground, rug down, and then I think it's right. No, I get it. Like, I guess I didn't show it. I thought I did, but I got it eventually. Like, as you can see, that was literally like 30 seconds of me just messing with this on the rug. And then it's already been like 20 seconds of me trying to pillar glitch it in with the rug, and it's still being super fidgety and awful. And like I said, this took forever to get in the right spot. And then I thought maybe I could just get it to snap because sometimes they do snap to the bottom of floors, but I really think it was just that car being there messed it all up. What really did help though is having that rug off the ground because then you could really see when it snapped because the pillar or the support actually like kind of dips into the ground anyway. And so since I had a lot of supports on this build, I wanted to kind of cover those up, make it look a little bit more supported and stuff. And also cover those up, like I said, not just make it look a little bit more supported. Uh, you'll notice I do this with a lot of my builds. If I have them off the ground at all, I will usually place these junk walls on the sides to cover up some of the gaps between the ground and the house, even if it's not floating or anything like that. Like I think with the Nick Valentine detective agency, I had said in the video like, oh, since it's floating, I will do this. Like I'll add these walls. That wasn't floating, obviously. I'm sure people didn't really notice me saying that, but I had said that, and I was like, I just sound dumb. Why did I say that? Uh, I don't know. I do that a lot, and I apologize. I'm really new to this kind of stuff. I'm not a huge public speaker. I I don't like really talking in front of people, and this is something like out of my comfort zone. I've mentioned it before, but uh, like I said, I'm fairly new to this. and so just getting the hang of things. I'm trying to figure out how to talk on camera properly. Not on camera, but like on a mic where something's recording me and not sounding weird. And it's also like the worst thing ever to have to hear myself talk afterwards. I'm sure that other people know what I mean. Just like listening to your own recordings and then catching things that you say or that you do that kind of don't sound like the brightest thing. And since there was a smaller gap on that side, a little half spot, I tried to fill it in the best that I could with a half shack wall. One of the two that we have, or well, I guess there's three, but one is a little nicer, and I don't want it to look that nice. I want it to look scrappy. Something that I did try to do, I tried to go to Quincy because I knew that Quincy had Minutemen in it before. If you've played the game, and so I was trying to find structures actually made by the Minutemen, and I was really surprised the fact that that's not really like a huge thing that happened. They really just moved into buildings, like pre-built structures. They didn't really build their own structures from what I can tell, because they had like that church in Quincy and a lot of the like apartment buildings and stuff they kind of had moved into. And then they had like walkways between all of them, which it looks awesome. Like I really like that idea. Pre-built structures and then like kind of building on top of it. I've done that in previous builds, not on my channel, but like on other saves. That you kind of like form a skeleton around a pre-built structure that is like the pre-built structure's there and it's used, but then also like this thing that the people that of the Commonwealth have come and established around that build, and it always makes it a little bit more interesting. And so this is the last little bit of details that I show. I think me just pillar glitching in these half walls, or not half walls, these shack walls. And I went against using more of the like junk walls on this side just because I felt like those bigger, thicker walls on top didn't really need them all that much. And then I've seen people use these as kind of fillers underneath walls before to kind of make it look a little bit more built up from the ground. And I think it does look really good. This is the final tour right here. So it's got quite a bit of decorations. I used Aslim's Workshop Decorations Pack in there, which is kind of like do-it-yourself on PS4. It's probably the closest thing that we'll get. But you'll notice when I get inside. And on the outside, like I said, I wanted it to look a little bit more built up on the outside. And so I really like how this turned out. I think the car was an interesting way to support a building. And you'll notice that the front desk, whenever I go inside, also I added a little walkway here. I didn't show that in the builds because I'd done it like halfway through decorating. But I kind of made a little office for somebody, whoever's working there. It's got a ham radio and stuff. And then it's got a bunch of bunk beds. Those are really simple. It's just pillar glitched on top of another bunk bed around where the bars end. And then little footlockers for each bed. And then the bunk bed ones are underneath the bed. And then just some random stuff kind of thrown around. Comic books, stuff like that. And then some food for them. And a Minutemen flag to show that it's a Minutemen build. And then also a bunch of laser rifles and assault rifles. And then a Minutemen shelf. And that's part of Aslim's decoration pack, like I said. But very, like, minimal decorations. I'm trying to lay it low on the decorations because they're a bit much because of the frame rate is getting a little choppy and stuff. But really simple build, like I said. The outside a little bit more complicated, but decoration pretty simple. But if you guys like this, make sure you let me know. Check out some of my other videos while you're here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.